Welcome back. You are still watching Morning Live. Now, this past weekend, the Baby Proteas has secured their spot at the Netball World Cup, Youth Cup, in 2025, that will be taking place in Gibraltar. This is after what was a convincing 45-26 victory over Malawi in the final of the Africa Regional Qualifiers in Pretoria. This morning, we are joined by the head coach of the Baby Proteas, Precious Mthembu, to talk about the roadmap for the team known as the Baby Proteas. Hey, good morning to you, Precious. Thank you so much for joining us on Sports on Morning Live.
Morning to everybody.
Precious, let's talk about what you were able to do with the Baby Proteas at these Africa Regional Qualifiers, because you had an unbeaten run, and perhaps let's talk about the game that set the tone for you in this tournament and in these qualifiers, a very convincing opening victory against Tanzania. Let's start there and how that almost set the tone for you moving forward.
Yeah, I think we had a little background about Tanzania. And so we just allowed the girls to get in the field and do what they needed to do. I think it's very important when you don't know the background or history of a certain team, you've got that quarter at least to see what's going to happen. But after that, I could see the girls in shape, knew what we're doing. And also, I was able to make play all the players on the court. So that's why this was that match, because it's not the fact that you can actually put everybody on the court and the job is continued as normal. So yeah, that was a good break out of the tournament. And I think we're just too strong for Tanzania, and the girls really enjoyed themselves in the game.
I also want to talk about the fact that you had a lot of training as the Baby Proteas, but not enough game time and action. How much was a challenge for you? How much was that a challenge getting into the qualifiers, the fact that you just weren't having enough competitive matches?
It's as much as we didn't have much preparations, but I think these players have been to numerous competitions. Some of them are involved in World Cup, the Spar Champs. They just last year played the Region 5 games. They involved in the top Netball League with the provinces. So even that is good enough for us. But I think the camp we had in Cape Town was quite useful with Ginny and myself. And then we just got the combinations right, and that's when we had to choose actually the top players. But after that, we could see the ones who wanted to be on the courts for the qualifiers, and with today's preparations, the talent here that's just it's incredible. So a couple of boxes were ticked, and so we were able to see the ones who were able to take us through the qualifiers.
I want to talk now, just before we move on, and just talk about the structure and what the roadmap is looking like ahead of Gibraltar. Malawi is the team that you faced off in the final. You did, though, play them earlier on in the tournament, securing a 44-19 victory against them. And the final score in that final was 45-26. So a better performance from the Malawian team in comparison to that first encounter against them. What do you make overall of that final encounter? Because Sakina and I sat there and we looked at that second quarter and we thought, this wasn't a great quarter for South Africa, because of course it was the Malawians that won that one. But overall, what do you make of that final encounter and how the team was able to come back in the third and that final quarter?
The good thing about Malawi in the finals that we played them before in the competition, so we knew how physical it was going to get, and it was quite physical for the girls. I mean, you saw the goalkeeper was sent off on the court, but I think we should have used that opportunity when they had 6 players on the court to to take control of that. But they're young players, and so some of them was the first time being in that competition. But I think our second quarter was quite alarming. I was sitting on the edge of my seat, but I wasn't so worried that much, because I knew the physicality the girls can obviously take. But when I took the girls at halftime, I really said that at halftime that there's so many people supporting them. They've got support structure where the Malawians and other countries don't have the resources and the structure that we have. So I think the girls came back in the third quarter. I mean, always say the third quarter is the championship quarter. They came back, they showed character, they showed guts, and they had composure. I think Malawi really struggled to break our standard of play. And obviously, our speed, which was our strength. But I wasn't so worried too much. But Malawi did put up a good fight against us in second quarter. And obviously, for us to see what really makes us drop the level like that. But yeah, I think going back to the videos to see and I saw what really went wrong. But a good win is a win.
And Precious, I love how you speak about the character of the team, because I think we saw a lot of character coming out from the girls during the encounter. And we speak about the leadership in the team as well. Let's touch on your captain, Poppy, because she also had an amazing tournament. We saw when the award ceremony was being done at the end, a lot of the South African players getting awards, including your captain, and of course, as well as the overall player of the tournament coming from the South African team. Let's speak about the role of leadership in this young Baby Proteas team and how important that is.
Yeah, we chose excuse me, the leadership group, which was Sanmarie, Poppy's captain, and Zane. I mean, they're three incredible players who come from different provinces, and the defensive players. It just happened randomly that all of them are defenders. But I think their leadership skills and obviously their performance played a huge role in the team. But the team was just full of leaders. They were all leaders individually. It was no doubt I was worried about how players were able to lead themselves in the court and able to realize that they need to change or adapt to certain things. But I think, yeah, all three of them were outstanding. The girls listened to them, they loved by their peers. They stood out, and they shared the role, the captaincy. That's how Poppy and everyone else was able to focus on their own game. So I'm really pleased in how they handled everything else. I'm very proud of Poppy for taking the mid-court position award, and Sanmarie best defender. That was taken the best player of the tournament. So that's outstanding. And all those three accolades, two of them will still be with us in the under 21 squad, where Sanmarie will be too old next year. But at least it's a good sign for the team that they can still have two best players in Africa who will be taking us to the World Cup next year.
And finally, as I wrap up with you, let's speak about the World Cup, Gibraltar 2025. Which nations do you possibly see being an obstacle for Team South Africa coming back with a medal? And how are you going to better prepare this team ahead of Gibraltar 2025 to ensure that we perhaps do have a podium finish?
We need to prepare. Firstly, we had some seniors in the team who will fall out next year because they'll be too old to participate. But I mean, if you're looking at the players who played the band, most of them played junior teams, junior players. So that's a good sign. So yeah, the preparation needs to be done. We've got preparing to travel around to play against the top nations, like the Australians and England and Jamaica maybe. Going to be taking along the SPA Proteas, wherever they're going, we're trying to see, but in some conversation with Jenny to see how we can use the same resources that the SPA Proteas are using. And yeah, I think it's going to be a good journey for us to prepare. We need to prepare well because, they're youngsters and you can't really take them to a big competition like this and then everything else is the first time for them. So mentally and physically, we need to prepare for them and we're just hoping to get them to play as a team in the Netball Telecom League next year to get the connection and unity together up until September as we depart for Gibraltar.
Well, Precious, thank you so much for your time here this morning and congratulations once again on winning those African Regional Qualifiers. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Precious Mthembu. She is the coach of the Baby Proteas. They won the Africa Regional Qualifiers and will go to the World Cup in Gibraltar 2025.